there was another big story, at least in McDonald's world, where cold fries seems to be the
The big
catalyst.
McDonald's thing. What's up with the cold fries in McDonald's?
I mean, first of all, McDonald's cold fries are criminal. Like, there's no bigger difference between the quality of a food by
That's so
temperature
true.
than
That's so
McDonald's
true.
fries hot, which is like that's like top tier. That's like
That is
McDonald's
like an
fries
amazing,
hot,
yes,
top tier. As
yes.
soon as it gets even below like body temperature, they're trash. They're like plastic, chewable plastic. They're awful.
It's just not good. Oh,
So
yeah.
there's a guy who I guess he called 911 because he got cold fries,
Yes.
but he ended up being wanted for murder and got arrested.
But it was not only that. I mean, I guess like if you're wanted for murder, if you're the type of person that can justify murder, and the type of person that can justify murder and call 911, something is wrong with you. Like even
Yeah,
for cold
clearly.
fries, something was clearly very off about him. But what was particularly interesting about the clip that was caught on the body cam was at when they caught him, he was just screaming like, I mean, it just was like shrieking. It was just unusual. Like, what are you doing?
All right, Mr. Sims, come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this.
I'm not under arrest or anything, am I?
No, sir. Just come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this real quick.
I said I'm not under arrest or
No,
anything.
no, you're not. Yeah, just come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this real quick.
You have to sign it saying that you're not going to come back to the property.
So you'll fill this part out.
Can I see it, sir?
Yeah. Will you come over here, man?
No, I'm afraid of y'all, sir.
Why are you afraid?
I did 3 years, sir. I'm afraid of you.
All right, I'm gonna walk you through. Why are you doing that?
I know how to fill it out.
Why are you doing that?
I know how to fill. Am I
All right,
arrested?
yeah.
No, let's make it. Yeah.
Car. 6-2 Kennesaw, call Cobb. Got him! Contact! Backside! Taser deployed! Put your hands out! Hands out! Do not move! Give me contact!
That's the criminal. That's the felon mating call. He knew he was going up. He knew he was going up. He wanted to let people know. I don't know, man. First of all, the body image footage, the body camera footage was like, it was goofy because one of the cops fell. Like as he's trying to run him down. So it catches the full fall. And also, like, is that just a condition of being uncoordinated where if you just speed up too fast, you fall? Because I've seen so many clips like that.
There's so many things like that. But I just think like a lot of police officers just really aren't in shape.
Yeah, they would never beat me in a foot race. Like
I just
challenge
don't,
any cop in a mile radius right now to beat me in a foot race, and they're not. Like there's no way that's happening. And it's crazy because they come up to him in the clip, and at first they're asking him to sign something, like to sign.
That's the part
like
I didn't understand. Like,
an
I'm like,
affidavit, or I don't know what it was.
I was curious because what type of information did he give them to require that, or that they started to be suspicious from the onset? Because what am I signing? If I call, if I call the police, and
a complaint, it could be a complaint. It could be like one of those, like for paperwork. If you're saying that maybe he's filing like a larceny complaint, like, oh, I paid for something and I didn't get what I paid for, kind of thing. I don't know, because I'm like, what else would you be signing?
And it might have even been how he made the phone call and what he sounded like on the phone call, because they probably were going to give him like a 72-hour hold and throwing him, in Bellevue type thing. So that's probably really what we were looking at. If because it just doesn't make sense. So
I mean, well, the first thing you do, they pull up to the scene. It's like, if they ID him, if they run plates immediately, dude, you have warrants. Like, it's like,
how do you?
I don't understand what's the logic in calling the police when you have warrants and it's for murder, right? Like that. It's not like you're someone who could be walking around freely. It makes me think that there's some kind of self-sabotage thing going on where this guy,
I think so.
He knew he's caught, or he wanted to be going back inside. I don't know, but the screams, the yelp and the screams,
that was weird.
I feel like he was doing his Black Lives Matter audition. I feel like he knew this is the body cam era, And if I get hurt in a certain way and a certain audience sees a certain part of this clip, maybe I'll be looked upon sympathetically, even if I'm not the best person. Because the screams seem disproportionate and lengthier than what was happening with the taser. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they weren't. I mean, honestly, like in terms of cop footage, like in this instance, it didn't seem like the cop. This was not like an extremely aggressive exchange. Yeah, it was pretty light. I mean, unfortunately, we have to talk like that now, but it wasn't. And remember, I was talking earlier about seeing that footage of that woman who was with her, I guess maybe her boyfriend or date or something.
Yeah.
And they were in a park after dark. And they were in a park after dark. The officer stops. I mean, I don't know any city that you can be in and just hang out in the park after.
You can't. You can't. After dusk, you cannot be in the park.
You just right. And it's like, it's just a known thing. It's not anything anybody has to remind you of. It's just kind of the rules, right? And I mean, parks after dark are creepy anyway. So why would you want to be there?
It's like that Chris Rock joke about ATMs. It's like, ain't nobody really taking cash out at 3 a.m. for a good reason. You know what I mean? Like if you in the park after a certain time, you ain't on the swings, G. You're not like getting on the jungle gym. Like there's only shady things going on in the park.
Exactly. You are doing something that you are not supposed to be doing. So this woman ends up so what happened is, I guess the footage that she uploaded, or that she was, you know, kind of like the slant for the media, was that you see this cop aggressing her and like throwing her down, and it looks really awful. Like, is it really that serious just for, like, you know, somebody being in the park after dark? But when you see the longer form video, her male companion that she was with, the officer is very clear. If you guys do not sign the citation, you will be arrested. Like, he's just clear on it. Male companion signs it right away. It's just like a ticket. It's not like it's not anything that's going on your record. It's nothing like that.
Right.
So when he asked her if she wants to sign the citation, she's like, I need your badge number. And so he says his badge. Yeah, exactly. She's just really, like, you know, just very stern and very serious and very, you know, just confident, like, I need your badge number. But the officer is not scared. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. He was actually very, very calm at this particular point. He gives her the badge number. She asked for it several times, like trying to like write it down or whatever, take notes or what have you. No, just act, you know, it was just a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And she said she's not signed the citation. So he's, you know, trying not to go there, but he's like, ma'am, you're going to be arrested. Like, I'm just, you know, he's kind of trying to do that. And then finally he just has to aggress her and take her down. And I guess a lot of the questions are more like, you know, well, did he have to go that far? But then it's like, well, did she have to go that far either? Like, none of this would be in the news cycle if she just signed the damn citation. You was doing something that you weren't supposed to do.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, especially for such a minor thing, it reminds me of, I don't know if you remember this story. This was like years ago, where there was an actress who in LA, she and her boyfriend were having sex in like a parking lot, or like on the side street of a major movie studio, a movie and television studio, right? And the cops, so she was a Black woman, she was having sex with her boyfriend in the car on basically like their lunch break, their mutual lunch break. And it was so out in the open that the people in the studio who had working hours during that day would see them. They would regularly see these two in their car having sex. So eventually someone called the cops on them, right? For public indecency. So the actress gets caught, right? And the cops go up to her, and that actress made it about like police treatment. This is in the wake of like Mike Brown has happened, like all that stuff has taken place. And so immediately she goes to, oh, they're treating me differently because it also happened to be that I think this actress came from a family of actors too. Like, it wasn't like she was just some regular person. She was like very entitled, right? And she was like, you know, let's call her a working actress, but she's not someone you would recognize very readily. But definitely operating in the world.
Why don't they just go into one of the trailers or something like that? Like, that's just crazy.
Or any other place but the public.
Or just wait,
exactly. But then made it about how those police behaviors. And I just feel like when folks do that, it undermines really everything that like these activists are going out to make visible. And I know that I'm never going to be in a place where I agree with policing standards. Right. But I do feel like there are certain laws that help us in terms of like maintaining public decency. Maybe I'm biased because I come from a big city, but like, you know, there's things that like annoy me when people don't do, and if they're cited for, if that's like a deterrent from doing it, like I don't want to see you litter, right? Like I live here, I don't want to see you litter.
I don't want,
if you get a citation for littering, it's like, yo, just take your citation, G. It's not about like how the cops are treating you in that standpoint. It's about like, yo, how do you maintain your community and maintain respect for what's around you? And I feel like that park case is something like that. It's like, hey, everyone agrees that you shouldn't be in the park, right? It's like, it's just an agreement. It's not about violence. It's not about what the cops are and what you are. It's like, you shouldn't be in the park, so I'm going to give you a citation.
And it's interesting because her excuse was like, well, we're not from here, so we didn't know. And that was where I was just like, everybody knows you just don't hang out in parks after dark.
Where they do that at? Where they do that at where you could be in the parks at night?
All I can say is, to their credit, I mean, they weren't doing anything illicit. They were like hanging out outside the car. So like, it wasn't like they were, they didn't look like they were dangerous people. If you could just tell that they weren't, they weren't on anything crazy, but they just were where they weren't supposed to be. So I guess that's probably why she was so defensive about everything. But then the funny thing is, once he decided to arrest her, she then says she finally agrees to sign the ticket. And he's like, it's too late now. We done went through all of this.
She said, no, psych.
Okay, and it's like, nah, you going to jail, mama.